Next up, we have Ralph Abato from Doleco USA to discuss Donova Textile Chain and their new product, the patented Dora load binders. During the session, post your questions in the Q&A window and Ralph will answer your questions at the end of his session. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Ralph and Doleco USA.
Okay. All right, so welcome everybody to the AWRF virtual presentation. I will be discussing the Donova Textile Chain and our latest patented Dora load binder. My name is Ralph Abato. I'm the President, Managing Director, Doleco USA. We are part of the Doleco group out of Dortmund, Germany, and we have a total of 9, we're in a total of 9 countries right now. So today we'd like to talk about the Donova, which is synthetic link chains made with UHMWPE fiber, that is ultra high molecular weight polyethylene fiber. So DSM is the company in the Netherlands that manufactures Dyneema. They trademark it as the world's strongest fiber. It is 7 to 8 times lighter than steel at the same strength. It's lighter than water. It actually floats on water. Extremely durable. So it actually has the ability to stop bullets. It's in bulletproof vests, secure oil tankers with large mooring lines, and it's also used as orthopedic sutures. It is, in fact, a key ingredient in all applications where lightweight, strength, durability, and flexibility are of the essence. That is a picture of the chain there on the bottom of the screen. Let's talk a little bit about Dyneema and their record in replacing steel wire in different applications in industry. Going back to 1995, wire ropes were the main method of securing large ships. That has been transferred to textile, much lighter mooring ropes. 2005, you're still using a lot of wire rope slings and chain slings. That also has been moved to a lot of the Dyneema textile lifting slings. And come 2015, we started to see the textile chain replacing steel chains. So history of metal chains. Certainly metal chains have been around for more than 3,000 years. The key is, of course, their flexibility and easy shortening ability. Some of the applications where steel chains are currently used in industry: overhead lifting and hoisting, load securing, lashing, tie down, lumbering and logging chains, mooring and mining mega chains, securing like small bike lock chains, towing and rescue, and even propulsion, driving, and transmission chains. So let's talk about the fundamentals of the chain or the product itself, the fiber. This ultra high molecular weight polyethylene has an extremely low stretch. That's one of the questions we're asked often. It has about 3.5% elongation at break. It's actually on par, if not less than steel chain. It floats on water. It has a very high tension and flex fatigue. It has excellent chemical and UV resistance, high abrasion resistance, and it does not absorb water. It is, in fact, some kind of a miracle fiber. So one of the elements of this design of the actual chain is that we have incorporated what's called a Mobius twist in this. And that is, if you were to simply make a chain by layering multiple layers on top of each other, all the stress would be pulled by the inside links or the inside of the link. With this Mobius twist, if you run your finger around the link, you will run it from the outside. It will turn into the inside of the link and then back to the outside. What's key about that is that it means that all of the fiber throughout the link is carrying the stress of the load. So it's a critical component to this design, and it actually gives it about 50% more strength than if it was just a multi-plied link. Some applications: lashing chains can be used as a head sling. We can use this textile chain with ratchet straps used to tension them. More commonly, we'll probably see more of the load binders. We have a special load binder that works with this textile chain and that's how they are tensioned. Got some other application photos here. Again, these are key where the length of the chain is extremely long, making a steel chain extremely heavy and hard to use. They also avoid any damage to the cargo itself, or in this case, this vessel. So these are pretty much prime applications. And of course, the chain can also be used in lifting applications. So we have power lash for tie down, power lift for lifting, and with various shackles, connectors, and hooks, you can create 2, 3, 4 leg slings, various applications depending on what's needed to be lifted. We show a couple of application photos here. So I won't get into all of the details because we do actually create and publish an operation instruction manual for both power lift and power lash, and it details out of service criteria, different applications, care of the materials, etc. So that is a document that's available, and it'll cover a lot more details than I can get into in this short presentation. DECRA is a global association that is involved in inspection, testing, and certification of safety products. Both our power lash and power lift are DECRA certified. The design factors we are using for the lashing are 2 to 1. Design factors for lifting are 5 to 1. So in terms of some practical usage, the basics of the product, use is really permitted by qualified people who have been trained. Load securing serves to support the safety of people, animals, and things under normal transport conditions. And common transport conditions might be considered full braking, emergency turns, enforced lane changes, lane irregularities. Some application instruction and warnings for the product. The hook must not be suspended between the layers of the different plies of the links. If the chains are twisted, they must not be loaded, should be rearranged. The temperature range goes from a -40, both centigrade and Fahrenheit, to a high of 70 degrees centigrade, 158 Fahrenheit. The interesting part about this fiber, Dyneema, is that it actually does get stronger in colder temperatures. It's just that we have been unable to really test it at anything lower than -40. But the reality is in cold climates, it actually performs better under these extreme cold temperatures. Any kind of damaged textile chains should be taken out of service. So we talk about replacement state, or when it's time to replace the product and take it out of service. The basic premise is if there's any doubt about the condition of the products, it should be taken out of service. Items to look for: damage that interferes with the product's function, 10% cut on the chain, either a vertical or a horizontal position, one layer of the chain link being cut clean through, deformations, fissures, flaws, or any other damage to of the span or the connecting elements, the hardware. Example would be if a hook has the mouth opened up by more than 5%, that should be a deformation to that hardware, and it probably should be taken out of service. Additional out of service criteria: chafe mark, surface abrasion, as the picture shows here, some serious, this was done on a piece of equipment. Deformation through heat, where you might have friction and melting. Contamination through hardening substances like glues, severed yarns, irregular dense webbing, severed layer belt strap, damages of the sustaining seams, damages caused by contact with aggressive substances, missing or unreadable labels. And I show the labels that we apply to the textile chain now. We have a warning label and a working load metal tag, which is affixed with a cable. We also note that the load binder used has a flat surface here to attach the chain to. A normal load binder would have a very narrow throat, would not work with this chain. So let's highlight the advantages again. Up to 85% less weight, easy handling, reduces noise, which again is something that can be critical if you're dragging heavy steel chains along the deck of a ship. Certified by DECRA, easy to shorten, electrically non-conductive, abrasion resistant material, reduces danger of injury. Now I have a short video I'm going to show. Okay, so the next thing I want to show is that if you are looking for additional information, we actually have a special website set up, www.donova.info for information. It'll ask you what region of the world you're in, and you can find some of these videos and some more information on the product line. It's a very informative website, so I encourage you to take a look at it. I'm now going to talk a little bit about our newest load binder. It's called the DORA patented load binder. So short and yet so long. As you can see in the graphics on the left-hand side, you have a standard red load binder and the orange DORA binder below it. The actual compactness of ours, the small size, is about 18% less dimension than a standard load binder in the industry. And yet when it is fully extended, you've got about 89% more extension range based with this binder. And that is because of the key feature of this patent, which is that you have on the left-hand side a thin diameter threaded rod, and that actually threads into the wider diameter rod on the right-hand side. Instead of the two ends butting up against each other, one threads into the other. That is the key for this patent. So advantages using a binder like this: less exertion of force due to the extremely large tensioning distance, easy retensioning due to tensioning distance reserves or more ability to more length. Use is possible within limited space due to the compactness, time savings due to faster handling, and a longer life due to the thread protecting stop collar we have on this. And again, I have another short video.
Does your video have sound?
Yeah, you're not hearing it?
No. Oh, just make sure your speaker's turned up all the way.
Yeah. on it. So again, I'm sorry if the audio didn't work on that, but we call this the world's largest tensioning distance load binder, the DORA ratchet load binder. And I can make these videos available if somebody wants to see or hear them. So those are the two products. I wanted to leave about 5 minutes here if there are some questions, and I guess there are. Let me see if I can go to that. All right. Does the Mobius Twist increase the efficiency brake strength by 15 or 50% when compared to a non-Mobius link? It's closer to 50%, not 15. It is a substantial improvement. How did you arrive at the design factor? 5-to-1 for lifting, 2-to-1 for lashing. Well, 5-to-1 is basically what web slings are currently. 2-to-1 is we have gone through a very exhaustive testing and certification program. And basically what it comes down to is that a standard tie down is a single ply of webbing. So any cuts, nicks, or damage, you have very little safety factor. With this chain, you've got 6, 8, or 10 plies. So there's a lot of redundancy built into it, and that's how we came up with the factor. There is a reference here to Green Pin. That is Van Beest. That is a different company. How flammable is this product? That's a good question. I really don't know. I mean, obviously, you've got to keep it under the certain temperature. I think it was 158 Fahrenheit, 70 degrees Celsius. The difference between this and Taiken chain, basically it's a different brand. They're both essentially made very similar. So they use a Dyneema fiber. Just a different brand, different name. Can this chain be repaired? Only can be repaired by the manufacturer. So yes, it can be, but not by anybody that's using it. It really needs to go to the manufacturer. At this point, I don't know that synthetic chain is covered under ASME. It is covered under FMCSA or the DOT regulations for lashing and tie down. There is out of service criteria specifically in the out of service book every year for this product. There are various sizes available. The most basic is about it's a 1-inch width webbing, 8 ply. We call that 25/8, which is 25 millimeter 8 ply. We also offer a 12/6, which is a 1/2 inch wide. We go up to 30 and 10, 30 millimeter width, 10 plies. It's very resistant to chemicals. We have a document which lists all of the normal industrial chemicals that it might come into contact with, and that can be shared as well that's a DSM document. Can the Doleco power lift only be used with specialized hardware? We really want to recommend the proper hardware to be used with lifting because it is tested with proper hardware. So it's key that we look at diameters of pins on shackles. It has to be the right width so that you're not crimping the textile chain. And those are kind of case by case right now where we would want to recommend and at least have some review of fittings if you're going to use your own. If we're going to sell chain to you and you do your own lifting slings, we'd like to have some say in how you do that. Any special chafe gear protection? We do offer Dyneema sleeves. So those can be used, and we do recommend certainly where there's any kind of sharp corners that those are used for protection. I think that answers all the questions, and probably have about a 1/2 minute left.
Great, thank you, Ralph. Any closing remarks?
Like I said, go to the website, donova.info. If you have any other questions, certainly come to our website. We're happy to answer questions. certain applications people have questions about, any kind of ratings, happy to answer those questions. Please give us a call.